Welcome to The Jeweler's View. I'm Courtney Gray. I've spent nearly 30 years in this industry, running schools, doing custom work, coaching, consulting, and working with makers at all stages. Over time, I've started to see the patterns, the things that actually move a creative career forward, and the things that can quietly hold it back. I built this podcast to cut through the noise, less time in your head or down the research rabbit hole, and more time building something real. Let's get into it. I think a lot of makers assume people buy jewelry because of logic. The materials, the craftsmanship, the technique, the price point. And yes, those things matter. But most buying decisions begin somewhere much deeper, in a feeling, a sense of trust, connection, curiosity, and recognition. People often feel something before they fully think it through. Welcome back to The Jeweler's View. I'm Courtney Gray, and today I want to talk to you about the emotional experience surrounding your work. Not sales tricks, not persuasion, not becoming someone you're not. I think many makers want their work to feel more elevated and professional, but they don't want to become pushy in the process. And honestly, I'm here to tell you, you don't have to. Your job is not to pressure people into buying. Your job is to invite them into the experience of the work, to help them understand it, connect with it, imagine themselves within it. A lot of what creates trust is much quieter than people realize. Before someone ever buys a piece, they're already taking in information, not just from the jewelry itself, from the interaction, from the environment, the way they're being treated, the feeling around the work. They're asking themselves things like, do I feel welcomed here? Do I feel comfortable asking questions? Do I feel rushed? Do I feel seen? And do I trust this person? And most of this happens beneath the surface. That's why two artists can create beautiful work at similar price points and leave people with completely different impressions. One interaction might feel grounding and connected, and another might feel tense, distracted, or a little uncertain. People pick up on that immediately, especially with jewelry, because jewelry is emotional by nature. People buy jewelry to celebrate things, remember and honor things, carry meaning, express themselves. Even everyday jewelry often becomes part of someone's identity or personal story. So people aren't only responding to an object, they're responding to how the experience makes them feel. I think one of the most underrated business skills is listening, real listening, not waiting for your turn to explain the work, not rushing towards the sale or pushing, but actually listening and letting things unfold naturally. Because often what clients want most is to just feel included in the process, to feel understood, especially, of course, with custom work. Someone starts talking about their grandmother's ring or a relationship or a milestone that they're celebrating. And if we move too quickly into here's what I can make for you, we sometimes miss the deeper reason they walked in the door. Connection starts by slowing down long enough to hear the story underneath the request. And honestly, our job is not to convince people to buy. It's to help guide them through the experience, to educate them, include them, help them feel comfortable about making an informed decision. That shift can change everything. People can feel when they're being sold to, and they can also feel when someone genuinely cares about helping them find the right fit for them. Those are very different experiences. This is something that I think a lot about. Luxury is not always about price. Sometimes luxury is simply feeling considered, feeling like care was taken, feeling like someone slowed down enough to think about the experience from your side of the table. I was reminded of this recently. Not long ago, for my 47th birthday, I bought myself a motorcycle. My friends, this is something that I've been sitting and thinking about for 30 years. I figured it was time, like a now or never kind of move. So if I'm being honest, there was a part of me that kept looking at the numbers and asking whether I could justify this, whether I should spend that much on something that wasn't really necessary. But the interesting part wasn't the purchase itself or the money. It was the feeling. The first time I sat on it, right? Before I even went anywhere on it, I felt something shift. Freedom, possibility, excitement. It reminded me of a version of myself I hadn't connected with in a while. And that's what I think we sometimes forget as makers. People aren't always evaluating a purchase based solely on materials, the features, or the specifications. They're imagining how that thing might fit into their life, how it might make them feel, what story it helps them tell about themselves. Jewelry does this all the time. And honestly, some of the most memorable customer experiences that I've had nothing to do with extravagance. It was about the interaction, the thoughtful packaging, the feeling that there was time and attention present. That stays with people. And importantly, thoughtful does not mean perfect. I think many makers assume professionalism means like super polished to the point of almost stiffness. But warmth is memorable too. People remember feeling at ease. They remember sincerity. They also remember feeling comfortable enough to ask questions without embarrassment, especially now when so much of life feels rushed and transactional. Genuine care stands out even more. Now let's talk about you and the work. People can often feel your relationship with your own work. If you seem uncomfortable discussing pricing, people sense it. If you apologize constantly, people sense that uncertainty too. If you seem grounded and connected to what you make, confident, people feel that immediately. And this doesn't mean becoming a performer or faking it, right? It means building enough trust in your own process that you can stand behind the work comfortably. That kind of confidence builds quietly. It's not aggressive, it's not rehearsed, and it's not fake it till you'll make it. It's do it until you become it. It feels steady, and steadiness builds the trust. I think this matters really deeply in handmade businesses because customers are often searching for connection as much as they are for the product. They want to feel the human being behind the work, not perfection, presence, authenticity. One of the strongest experiences that you can create for customers is consistency. Consistency when you communicate, in your packaging, in your pricing, in your photography. People relax because consistency creates predictability. And predictability also makes us feel safe. People start thinking, okay, this person has thought this through. I understand what to expect here. This feels trustworthy. And trust matters enormously with jewelry because jewelry is personal, sometimes really personal. An engagement ring, a memorial piece, a milestone gift. People are placing meaning into your hands. That's not a small thing. So maybe this week, instead of focusing only on how do I get people to buy, try asking yourself, how do people feel in the presence of my work? Do they feel welcomed, comfortable, included, considered? Because often the most memorable part of an experience is not what was said. It's how someone felt when they were with you. People don't just remember what they purchased. They remember how they felt when they chose it. They remember how they felt during that whole interaction. And they remember how they felt while they were with you. Thanks for being here. You've got this. Onward and upward. I'll see you next time on The Jeweler's View. This episode is brought to you by Bonnie Doon Tools. Good tools should last, and they should make your process cleaner and more predictable. From forming to cutting to custom die systems, Bonnie Doon builds equipment designed to keep working, use after use, year after year. Visit BonnieDoonTools.com to get educated on what's possible. I'm glad you're here. This path takes a lot, especially when you're building something of your own. If you want to go deeper, I share key takeaways and additional teaching through my email list at CourtneyGrayArts.com. Keep going. This part matters. I'll see you next week.
Singing bowls and stories untold. Yeah, here's to the dreams and how we make them, to howling at the moon, to worries and loss, sitting in solitude or feeling a little bit pissed off. Here's to the grace we have awakened,